Greetings and welcome to Spiritual Practices for Tough Times, episode number 9. I am so glad and honored that you're joining us on this journey as we continue each and every day with new life and with challenges and joys and gratitude. How are you doing today? It's hard to believe that we're in day 28 now of physical and social distancing in these tough times. At times, it seems like time is going really slow. Then at other times, the days go past. But here we are at day 28, and we really are in a time of a marathon instead of a sprint as we get ready for the Easter weekend and all these things. And as I look at the news and read stuff online and listen to stuff, sometimes it's so hard not to just want to close down and to feel the burdens and the sufferings of our world. And so as we gather today, we light a candle to signify the sacred light that's within us and with us and around us. In particular, the sacred light with the frontline workers in the hospitals, with the people caring for those with COVID-19, and those who are caring for those with the everyday life challenges and problems in these economic times and pandemic. I hope you have a cup of tea or a coffee or another beverage of your choice, maybe something stronger if you're watching this in the evening. It always is helpful for me to, when I have this cup of tea, to remember it's sort of like communion, that we are all together in this, and there's a presence that flows in each of us and all of life and helps us connect during these tough times. Well, how about we begin today with our breathing exercise, our breathing meditation. It's a way just to let go of wherever we're at, whatever's happening in our lives, to not judge it, and to just be in this moment and to tap into a deeper presence and a deeper wisdom that's within our bodies and with us. So to begin our time, I will ring the meditation bell, and then I'll lead us into this time of conscious breathing, of a spiritual practice that's really like meditation or contemplation that helps us become in touch with our bodies in this present moment. So let us begin our time together. You may want to just put your feet on the floor and close your eyes. Put your hands comfortably in your lap. And then you might just begin by taking a deep breath. As you breathe in, just begin to feel the breath go deep into your lungs. As you breathe out, you might want to let go of whatever's you're carrying at the moment, your worries or your thoughts or plans, maybe certain emotions, and then just breathe in again, allowing your breath to take you more fully into your body. With each in-breath and with each exhalation, I invite you to be more present to here and now, to be more present in your body. You might begin to feel the soles of your feet on the ground. Top of your head may feel it more present. Your nose and your earlobes, the tips of your fingers. Just begin to breathe. Breathing in and breathing out. Just let go. Allow your monkey mind to be without judging it, without having to contain it, pushing it away, or holding on to anything. Just allow your breath to take you deeper into your body and more present to your heart. Breathe in. Let go. Breathe out. Be here now. I invite you to take one more breath. And as you gently open your eyes to wherever you are, right here and now, do you have a sense of gratitude? Or do you see a moment of beauty or joy just where you are, or feel it in your body or heart? How do you feel now in your body? Is your mind a bit quieter? Do you sense the underlying calm that's always with us no matter what is happening, no matter what is happening in our mind, no matter what is churning away, whether good or bad or indifferent or so important? There is this underlying sense of calm. And that is the gift of having a spiritual practice in our daily lives, of cultivating some way in which we can become conscious of the present moment. Spiritual practices are not about having the perfect life or having the perfect thoughts or the perfect feelings. Spiritual practices are about cultivating within us a perception and awareness and a presence so that we can go through life no matter what is happening, the ups or downs, the twists and turns and the changes. Spiritual practices are about helping us awaken that there's a presence in our lives that unexplainably sustains us through everything. So how are you now? I hope you can just accept yourself just as you are and know that you are okay, that we are okay no matter what is happening. Today, I'd like to talk about how spiritual practices help us discover what we can truly influence and the power of truth, and trusting in the inner voice of truth. What is truth? I know that's a big question and we don't have time to do it philosophically here, but I truly believe that there is an inner truth in each and every one of us that's waiting for us to listen to it, that comes from within us but is beyond us. In this episode from Seinfeld, I think we commonly hear what we think truth is about.
How would you like it if someone told you the truth?
Like what? What could they say?
There are plenty of things to say.
Like what? I'm bald? What is it specifically? Is there an odor I'm not aware of?
Please.
What? Give me one.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay. You're extremely careful with money.
What?
Forget it.
I'm cheap? You think I'm cheap?
See?
How could you say that to me? I can't believe this. How could you say that to me?
You asked me to.
You should have lied.
So should you.
Okay, wait a second. What happened to my papers?
I mean, I'm not really working right now.
I know.
When I was working, I spent, baby.
Yeah, I know. Champagne, limos, cigars. What happened to the papers?
So we often think that, truth is about, conflict or not seeing ourselves right, about shame or guilt or all those things. But what if truth or inner truth is more about how do we open up to the abundance of the life we are given? How do we open up to life just as we find it, and opening up to each moment in a conscious awareness helps us find the right way to live life and the way through life, whatever's happening. It reminds me of Howard Thurman, an African American in the United States who was, I believe, a mystic in the Christian lineage, and was really important in helping people understand nonviolence and spirituality. In particular, mentored many of those in the civil rights movements in the 60s, including Martin Luther King. And he talked about how we can find the genuine sound within us. So I'd like to read just briefly what he means by that as I put on my reading glasses here, because I am starting to age. And as we hear Howard Thurman, he talks about the sound of the genuine at a baccalaureate address. So he says, "There is in every person something that waits and listens for the sound of the genuine in herself. There is in you something that waits and listens for the sound of the genuine in yourself. Nobody like you has ever been born, and no one like you will ever be born again. You are the only one. And if you miss the sound of the genuine in you, you will be a cripple all the rest of your life, because you will never be able to get a scent on who you are. There are so many noises going on inside of you, so many echoes of all sorts, so many internalizations of the rumble and the traffic, the confusions, the disorders by which your environment is peopled. And I wonder if you can get still enough, not quiet enough, still enough to hear rumblings up from your unique and essential idiom, the sound of the genuine in you. There is something in every one of you that waits, listens for the genuine in yourself. And if you cannot hear it, you'll never find whatever it is for which you are searching. And if you hear it, and then do not follow it, it was better that you have never been born. You are the only one that has ever lived. Your idiom is the only idiom of its kind in all of existences. And if you cannot hear the sound of the genuine in you, you will spend all your life, all the days of your life, on the ends of strings that somebody else pulls. There is in you something that waits and listens for the sound of the genuine yourself. And sometimes there is so much traffic going on in our minds, and so many different kinds of singles, so many vast impulses floating through our organisms that go back thousands of generations long before you were even a thought in the mind of creation. And you are buffeted by these. And in the midst of all these, you have got to find out what your name is. Who are you? How does the sound of the genuine come through to you? The sound of the genuine is flowing through you. So don't be deceived and thrown off by all the voices that are part of even your dreams and your ambitions that don't hear the sound of the genuine in you. Because that is the only true guide that you will ever have. And if you don't have that, you don't have a thing. You may be famous. You may be whatever other ideals are part of this generation, but you don't know or don't have the foggiest notion of who you are, where you're going, and what you want. So cultivate the discipline of listening to the sound of the genuine in yourself. So in many ways, what Howard Thurman is offering us is so beautiful. I don't know if you hear that in you, right here and now, is a flow of the sound of the genuine. And the sound of the genuine, if we listen, not in the quiet, but in the calmness of our hearts and bodies, will unfold to us who we are, what we need to do, and where we need to go. It's not about being famous. It's not about having our life right. It's not about following all the rules of what our generation tells us to do. It's just inviting us to find something true within us. And when we find that, this inner power of truth, then that's where we find our influence. It's like this Headspace video about finding confidence.
Confidence is a funny thing. People sometimes assume it's about repeating a story in the mind over and over again. One that makes us look or feel really good. But the problem is, when we have an artificial confidence like this, it's always tinged with fear. What happens if it lets us down? What happens if we lose the storyline? What happens if doubt creeps in, that feeling of, am I living the right way? But there's a kind of confidence, you could call it quiet confidence, that's almost the opposite. It means letting go of all that stuff, putting down the old storylines. And when we let go of it, we experience something else. We experience vulnerability, uncertainty, and openness. But within that, somewhere, we discover quiet confidence. Perhaps it's just a byproduct of being willing to exist without those comforting stories. But the incredible thing is, because it's not separate from ourselves, we can't lose it. It's indestructible, and that's the beauty of it. To rest with that sense of vulnerability, not necessarily knowing, but at the same time being confident in not knowing. That's quiet confidence.
So quiet confidence is another way to talk about the sound of the genuine, or another way to talk about the power of inner truth. As Howard Thurman said in the reading we just heard, who is pulling our strings? Or what confidence are we trying to embody our life? The confidence that other people tell us we should have, or the ideals we should follow? Or are we willing to fall into a presence, a flow, the sound of the genuine that's created just for us, and find that life, no matter what is happening, especially right now in these tough times with the COVID-19 pandemic, with economic turmoil, with relationships and all sorts of things. It'd be right now, we might just want to try and push things and pull things and control things and get everything right so we could find a sense of happiness. But what spiritual practices offer us is that instead of making life hard through our own effort, if we can let go, there is this sound of the genuine waiting for you and me. There's this inner confidence that's indisputable and immutable and always presence that helps us live life in all its abundance no matter what is happening. So the invitation is this: how do we trust in the voice of truth within, which neither needs to push away the bad nor hold on to the good? But there's this sound of the genuine that just helps us to do the right thing. It helps us to do the right thing, or to say the right thing that will come of itself. This is the gift that's waiting for us. And it reminds me of this story of Trundor, who's an artist on Fargus. And he talks about this. He says, deep down inside our bodies lives the soul, and no one has ever seen it, but we all know it's there. And there is a soul bird who lives inside us all. And when we touch that soul bird, we find our freedom, we find our influence, we find peace.
After we are dead, the body is gone, and your soul, it will be somewhere. You know? Maybe like an albatross, I can go out to the sea and fly for the whole rest of the life. The bird, they have some symbol about freedom. They do what they want. Yeah, I think I'm free because I do what I want, and I was lucky to have a job. My job is what I like to do. Huh? The sea have a soul, and the stone is alive, that is a soul inside. So I want in my painting to go inside the mountain, behind, there is something behind. You never only work with what is outside, you work with what is inside. I can do a painting of you, huh? And it looks like you. That would be okay. And when I really could do some artwork of you, I have to get your soul, your inside. Huh? And that is what artists have to do. They have to give it some insight, some power. No, it is not easy. In the beginning, maybe hard to stay alive because it's difficult to sell your art in the beginning. You maybe have to spend 20 years before you really could live on it. Huh? One of my friends here in Faroe Island, he say, I do the best of my work when I sleep. And that is something like the instinct you have. In the beginning, you have a plan, I want to do that. In the end, you don't know what that will be. Huh? Don't think so much about it. Do what the picture wants you to do. Huh? And that's a good way to do it. I think you have to be free. You have to listen to what you think is best for you. And you have to work for your freedom to do what you want. You have to be strong enough to do it by yourself. Huh? That is your life.
So there's so many ways to say this. But during these tough times, one of the gifts of a spiritual practice is it helps us reclaim our lives, helps us reclaim the sound of the genuine within us. It helps us reclaim a grounding that's not shifting. Because if they're truthful, I don't know how it is for you, but for me, right now, every day is shifting. It's so easy to be despondent. It's so easy to brood, to become negative, scared and anxious. The world is changing. Maybe it will never be the same again when we come through the other side. But the gift is that within you, within me, within all of creation, just like the artist said, in the sea, in the rocks, in the mountains, all around us, there's there's this soul, there's this sound of a genuine asking us and showing us that we can find the way through whatever's happening in the moment. It's in the moment. What COVID-19 is sort of unfolding for us is that all our plans that we can make, all the ways we can tie up our life into security can be thrown over in an instance. But in that instance, there's something in you. It's in your heart. It's in your body. It sings in you. It flies like a bird. And a spiritual practice helps us touch into it. And then when we go back into life, it helps remind us how to be present to the ones we love, to the strangers in our life, to those who need help, to what we're doing in our everyday life, whether it be a cup of tea, or playing with puppets with the kids, or shopping for groceries, or working in the yard, or cooking, or caring for someone who's sick or dying, that we can be present, that we can be okay. I hope that's helped. I hope that makes sense. To end our time, I thought we'd spend a moment in this practice of letting go of the strings that pull us, of the monkey mind that pushes us and judges us and sometimes screams at us that we're not good enough, at those ideals that we carry around from our culture that maybe don't work anymore. So I invite you again to put your feet on the ground. I invite you again to softly close your eyes, and I'll ring the meditation bell to begin our time, and then I'll lead us through a guided meditation where we imagine that our thoughts and those strings that pull us around and those ideals are gently put on the wind that blows them away. And instead, what we're left with is sitting in this moment with the sound of your genuine here and now. So please close your eyes. You might want to imagine yourself sitting on your favorite beach, maybe by the ocean or the sea. Might be a lake that you've been to close to home. Maybe even a bit of a beach on a river. I invite you to imagine that as you're on this beach that you feel yourself sitting on it. Maybe the rocks below or the sand. You feel Mother Earth below you, holding you. You feel supported. Maybe you even feel the soul of the sand and the rock beneath you. And imagine the warm sunlight is gently warming your face, your hands, and your body. And you begin to hear the sound of the waves or the trickling water, that rhythmic, gentle sound on a calm day. And you hear nature around you, the birds and the trees. And then I invite you to imagine you feel the gentle breeze wafting through your hair, tickling your face. And as we sit here on the beach with the waves and the sunshine and the sounds of nature and wind, I invite you to take a deep breath. Feel your body as you breathe in and as you breathe out, as you're present to this moment. And if you begin to feel that your awareness is clinging to a thought or a feeling, don't judge them. Don't push them away or try and contain them. Just let the thought or the emotion be, or the string that's pulling you to do something after you're done listening to this, or something that happened in the past that still bothers you. Just imagine you see them, and they gently go on the breeze that's blowing by you, and they go away. And you just come back to being present. And as we breathe and be on the beach with the wind, the breeze, the sunshine and the waves and nature, as you let go, maybe you begin to feel that you're more present in your body. Maybe you feel a presence, a spaciousness beginning to grow. Your body feels larger, more present to you. You feel a spaciousness, maybe even a vibrancy of being alive and awake. And you feel awake to something, but you can't describe it. But it's absolutely marvelous and totally generous. You may begin to feel it as a increasing warm tenderness radiating from your heart to all your body. Sweetness and intimacy. It's the sound of your genuine. It's the freedom of your soul. And maybe as we end this time together, you may just want to listen to it. Feel it. Be with it and be it. It may even give you an image or a word or a feeling for what you've been searching for this morning or this afternoon or this evening. It will give you the right thing to say, the right thing to do in this moment for you. As you take one more breath, hold on to this moment and the gift of you, and gently open your eyes. And again, what do you see? Is there beauty or joy? What is waiting for you as you go back to your life? I want to thank you for being on this journey with me and our tech team in these spiritual practices for tough times. We're taking a week off for Easter break, but we'll be back after that. And please feel free to go back and visit any episodes if they worked for you, if there's a favorite one that helps you in these tough times. And may you truly trust the inner power of your truth. And may it help you live your life in all the abundance that is present even in these tough times. So blessings and thank you, and stay safe and take care.